The Biden administration dodging questions again, refusing to elaborate on the vetting process for Afghan refugees coming into the United States.
Before anyone who is evacuated from Afghanistan comes to this country, they undergo a rigorous vet.
I would assume the State Department has a policy for what happens with those applicants whose vetting is not successful.
We do have a plan, but again, these aren't always plans that we can detail publicly.
Tens of thousands of refugees now arriving into the United States as Americans are still stranded in Afghanistan, along with friends, allies, partners there. Joining me now, former Navy SEAL and Arizona congressional candidate Eli Crane. Eli, what do you make of the administration doesn't even know how many people are left behind, quite frankly. So what do you make of the vetting process that we know so little about?
Well, thanks for having me on, Dagan. But it just shows once again how little this administration cares about the people that they're supposed to be protecting the most. I mean, I can tell you firsthand as a former Navy SEAL and somebody that did 3 tours overseas, that we took interpreters with us everywhere we went. And we did that because we didn't speak the native tongue and we needed them. They did a very good job keeping us out of trouble. So I understand the sentiment of wanting to take care of those that have taken care of us overseas, but that's really not what's going on in Afghanistan. Even the State Department has clearly shown that they don't know who got on those planes, how many people were American citizens. They were basically saying that we were just throwing people on planes because we had a deadline that we had to keep. And again, it's the American people that are going to take the brunt of this. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, a lot of these folks are not going to come here and want to assimilate to our culture. And if you think that I'm being hyperbolic or, blowing this out of proportion, all you have to do is come to my home state of Arizona and see what goes on our southern border to know how little this administration cares about how these policies are going to affect the people they're supposed to be, taking care of the most.
Eli, how can we reverse all of this, though? Because I referred to Joe Biden. He was sold to the American people as a man of empathy, but he is the commander in callousness based on how you treat your friends and fellow Americans overseas. And people were very emotional about that baby in Afghanistan being handed to by the parent to that member of our service. And that's who we are. It's like we help people. But it was just a few months ago, we saw babies being dropped over border walls in the South. And that was the foundation of that was laid by this administration. So how do we fix all of this?
Well, Dagan, it always starts with leadership. And that's why myself and so many other members of the SEAL teams and even special forces and veterans in general are running for Congress. It starts with leadership. The American people, unfortunately, we have to quit being complacent. We have to engage, and we have to take back our government at the local level, at the federal level, and definitely at the executive level in 22 and 24.
James Friedman from the Wall Street Journal editorial page. Jump in.
Thanks, and thanks for your service. I think whatever so many people must be left with is this question of if the administration was willing to fill planes with people seeking refugee status and then vet them in the U.S., why couldn't we have brought the interpreters you worked with over to vet them here? Now, I understand you're for security, but it just sort of boggles the mind that we wouldn't allow the people we knew were helping us out, but we took random people with the idea we'll vet them later on refugee claims?
Yeah, I mean, that's the bottom line. This is par for the course for this administration. But here's what Americans really need to know. That is, with this administration in charge, with us pulling out of Afghanistan in the completely disastrous form that we did, our allies and American citizens are in more danger today than they were before this president took office. We need to do everything we can to push back against this. We need to remember that elections have consequences, and we really got to turn this country back around, and it's going to take we the people at the grassroots level rising up, like I said, getting off of Netflix and getting engaged in our government.
Eli, those 13 service members who gave their lives for this country, I mean, that really speaks to the greatness of the people of this country. And do you get a sense that there are young people far and wide who are still willing to step up and serve this country and enlist or join the military in any way, shape, or form because they believe in protecting the freedoms that we all hold so dear?
Absolutely. I know that there are young men and women today that will still answer the call and serve this country. But I got to be honest, Dagan, it's getting worse by the day as our kids are indoctrinated from the time that they step foot into school, being taught that this country isn't great, that it's racist. Sooner or later, you're going to see a reversal of that. And that's another reason why we have to take our schools back, our school boards, our local and federal governments, because there will come a time if we continue to indoctrinate our kids and teach them that this country isn't great, that you will see a decline in our enlistments in the military.
It's certainly not who we are. Eli Crane, thank you so much for your service. Great to see you. Please come back.
Thank you.
And I think that you're right, though, Eli. A lot more people who served, whether they were SEALs, regardless of what the area of the military they served in, they are going to be running for office after they've witnessed what has happened in Afghanistan. You are so right about that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, Dagan. Have a great day.
You too. Have a great weekend.